und willkommen bei Sarah's Music. Wir sind wieder in Bonn beim alljährlichen Beethovenfest. Und weil wir in Bonn sind und es Beethovens Zuhause ist, dachte ich, wir schauen uns eins der berühmtesten Musikstücke aller Zeiten an. Ihr werdet es bestimmt erkennen. Da 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 da! Der Komponist Ludwig van Beethoven wurde in Bonn geboren und er ist heute noch in den ganzen Staat präsent. Auf dem Beethovenfest spielt heute ein ganz besonderes Orchester die Fünfte Symphonie von Beethoven im Originalklang. Sie spielen auf Instrumenten, die Beethoven zu seiner Zeit benutzt hätte. François-Xavier Roth ist der Gründer und Dirigent des Orchesters. Ich hatte einen perfekten Interviewort für ihn, Beethovens Geburtshaus. Maestro, welcome to Bonn and welcome to Beethoven's house. We're so lucky that we can be here.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. We are very lucky and it's very emotional to be here where he was born.
It really is, and it fits perfectly to the theme of today because you are here in Bonn to play the Beethoven's Fifth Symphony on original instruments.
Indeed.
Where do you get these original instruments from?
Now it's quite easy to find instruments from Beethoven time. For sure you have copy of the instruments because most of the time the instruments are, now we are talking about winds especially, the instruments are don't work anymore, so we have copies, but very good ones.
The winds and the brass in Beethoven's day were a little bit more raucous, they were a little bit more not so refined as the horns of today.
I wouldn't say that. I see the instruments of Beethoven time or Debussy or Rameau or Bach really like characters with their personality and with their advantages and maybe defaults. And what is really great to perform Beethoven with his instruments is to really experiment how, with his tools, he pushes the orchestra in some totally exotic territories. I mean, he's so fascinated in pushing all the limits of the instruments. So you can really feel that with the instruments of the time. You can't feel that with our modern instruments. For me, the ideal way to do music is really to have this philosophy in mind that we are not a museum, we are an organic group that has to recreate every time the impact of the works.
As a conductor, this piece, as you said, has been played billions of times.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it, even if they don't know much about classical music. It's been put into pop songs. You hear it everywhere. What do you put into it? You said you like to do things as if it was the first time. How do you go about making this your performance?
When I conduct it, I think of what wanted Beethoven to hear and what does this music say to us today, maybe. But with this freshness of the beginning. And it's very well known, it's very performed, and it's very difficult to conduct, I have to confess. Not only the first movement, which is very famous for difficult to conduct.
How do you give that downbeat for the first bars? I know that's really mean because every conductor says it's so hard. You just have to give it.
It's not hard.
Okay.
Because if you think of ta-ta-ta-ta as the last bar of an imaginary 4 bars system. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, pa-pa-pa-pa. If you think that's no accident, I promise you.
You've just told the secret on international TV. Thank you so much. I really look forward to hearing your performance
My pleasure,
tonight.
Sarah.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. I'm really happy that the musicians of Les Siècles, is that right? Les Siècles, have taken time to talk to us about the difficulties of your instruments. This is, Bruno, this is only part of your instrument.
Yes.
Why is your horn so different to mine?
In this time, the composer has to write for S horn, C horns, and they have to change the crooks. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's part of the job.
Crook, yeah. The crooks, that's the S crook, E bemol crook.
So Beethoven 5, you play on, you start on this
Yes.
one.
Then the second tone ta-ti on this one, then ta-ta-ta-ta on this one, on the last movement on this one.
Marion, your orchestra specializes in this sound of authentic sound, but not only for Beethoven, for all pieces you play on instruments. How many different flutes must you play?
Wow, for these 10 days, I think 5 or something like that.
But when you play Beethoven 5, do you sometimes play on modern instruments as well?
Yes, of course.
How is that for you?
It's more cold. Wooden flute is really warm, you know, and really clear, and you can attack very precise, and you have a transparency. For these long notes you can develop without any effort.
Where do all these instruments come from, Robin? How does this orchestra have so many instruments?
Well, I mean, sometimes, still on Rue de Rome, where all the luthiers work in Paris, you still will find people walking in off the street with something that they found in their grandmother's attic, and it can be something that has not had any change made to it in 100, 200 years. A lot of instruments are found this way. In my case, this is actually a copy of a Goffrila cello, but the main difference with the string section in the orchestra is that we play always, up until the music of, until the 1960s, we play on gut strings and uncovered gut strings, and the sound is very different to what you would hear with a modern instrument in terms of texture and timbre, and the way you can find the resistance between the hair of the bow and the guts is a very different sensation than with metal strings, which are much more instant, but don't have such depth and such heart.
Your contrabassoon,
Yeah.
Antoine, and it's what makes this different to a modern day contrabassoon?
It's bigger, taller, you can see. It's not the same wood, not the same keys, of course, and at the end, the sound, it's not the same. If you take a modern contrabassoon, the sound is more sweet. But for me, Beethoven music is not sweet. It's very dry, very intensive. So that's why this instrument, for me, it's better and it's not more difficult. For me, it's easier to play Beethoven with this instrument.
Das war's von Sarah's Musik für heute. Ich liebe diesen Klang der originalen Instrumente. Ist ganz, ganz toll. Wir sehen uns nächstes Mal. À la prochaine fois. Au revoir.
I know in each video, I think, Sarah, you must your guest must try horn.
Yes.
But for this video, in Beethoven, I think you must try this instrument. So just my seat, you must try for the first time in your life an historical contrabassoon. So
Did you know this was going to happen?
No,
It's not been rehearsed.
Good luck.
no.
Okay, so what do I do?
Alors,
Okay.
brava, your first time.
Merci beaucoup. Maestro, I was just challenged to do an original instrument contrabassoon challenge, and it was pretty bad. Well, it was fun, but I think you're not going to get away with it. Your son plays the horn. We want you to play the original instrument horn challenge. Here we go.
It's my very first time, I have to admit, huh?
The worse you are, the more we love you. With hand technique. Merveilleux! Merveilleux!